Get ready for a space race like no other. The future of space exploration is at stake, and the United States is gearing up for a new challenge. A group of senators, representing both major parties, has proposed an ambitious plan to establish a national institute for space research. Their goal? To ensure the U.S. remains a leader in space, especially as China's influence grows. The race to the stars. With the International Space Station, ISS, set to retire in 2030, the U.S. needs a new strategy. The proposed institute would coordinate research on the next generation of private space stations, ensuring America's continued presence and leadership in space. But here's where it gets controversial. This plan hinges on the approval of Congress, and it's not a done deal. The Space Race, Research and Continuing Exploration Act needs to pass, and it's a hot topic among politicians and space enthusiasts alike. A former astronaut's perspective. Mark Kelly, a former astronaut who visited the ISS 4 times, understands the importance of space research. He believes it drives innovation and strengthens America's competitiveness. As China expands its space program, Kelly warns that the U.S. can't afford to fall behind. Senator John Cornyn, Republican Texas, agrees, emphasizing the need for every tool and advantage to launch into the next space race. Other senators supporting this initiative include John Hickenlooper, Democrat Colorado, Roger Wicker, Republican Mississippi, and Ben Ray Lujan, Democrat New Mexico. China's rising star. China's space program has been making waves. While NASA and China are forbidden from bilateral cooperation, except with prior congressional approval, due to the Wolf Amendment, China has been busy. They've launched robotic missions to the Moon and Mars, and both nations aim to land astronauts on the Moon again before 2030. However, NASA faces a significant challenge. The White House has proposed a 24% budget cut for fiscal 2026, which would reduce NASA's funding from $24.8 billion to $18.8 billion. This cut could impact NASA's science program, potentially making the U.S. vulnerable in space. The Trump administration justifies these measures to focus on crewed missions to the Moon and Mars. The Space Race Act, a closer look. The senator's statement outlines the key objectives of the Space Race Act. Create a national institute for space research to coordinate U.S. microgravity research in low Earth orbit, LEO, after the ISS retires. Foster public-private partnerships and economic development by bridging government and commercial interests. Enhance America's geopolitical influence and leadership in the global space economy. According to a Space News report, China aims to increase demand for services at its Tiangong space station by launching new modules. China is also seeking more international collaborations and aims to attract foreign astronauts through training programs. The senators argue that China's space-based partnerships could shift international norms in space governance and tech standards. They believe establishing the institute would counteract this, allowing the U.S. to support small businesses and reduce barriers to space research and development. So, what do you think? Is this a necessary step to maintain U.S. leadership in space, or is it a costly and unnecessary move? Share your thoughts in the comments and let's spark a discussion.